What's up everybody, it's me, I'm back, and today's video I'm going to be talking about whether I think running shoes matter. I started doing a little bit of research on if running shoes actually made a difference. Alright, so whenever I get back from this run, let's sit down and talk about whether or not running shoes actually matter. Alright, so I'm back at the house, and so here's basically what's happened. So, you know, I really got into running this year. I typically avoid running. I've never enjoyed running, and I actually probably don't really still enjoy it, but I've been doing a lot more of it. You know, the COVID quarantine made me work out from home a lot more, so I had to come up with some ways to get my exercise in, which I would not have probably normally done. So it sort of exposed me to the world of running. I probably hate it less than I did before, but because I was doing so much of it, I just constantly had feet pain at the end of my runs. Not usually on the shorter runs, but the longer ones. Basically anything over probably 1.5 miles. When I was done, whether it was walking or running, I just would have heel pain on both of my feet and probably around sort of the balls of my feet as well. I just got sick of it. Was sick of it to the point where, you know, I would come home and I just couldn't wait to take my shoes off so that I could feel how bad my feet hurt, because they just hurt every time. And then it made it hard to turn around and run again the next day or 2 days later, because I was worried about, are my feet gonna hurt so much from the last time that it bothers me this time? And then is it just gonna hurt again? So that's what got me thinking about running shoes. You know, I was looking at shoes and I'm seeing, you know, higher, more expensive shoes, and I thought, surely that's gotta mean something, right? But the skeptic in me, if you've been doing any sort of fitness for maybe more than a couple of years, you know there's just a whole bunch of stuff out there and they say all of it works, but you get skeptical over time. So I started doing some research to figure out, well, do running shoes actually help your feet? And from there I started learning about things like overpronation and the way that your foot lands and all this different stuff. And so it turns out that just by researching online, I saw a graph. It actually looked like this one. Sorry, my microphone fell into my shirt. So this graph here basically said, you know, if your shoes look like this, then you've got overpronation. And it's kind of hard to see, I guess, on these shoes, but it matches almost exactly. So what I found was I was having a lot of wear on the insides of the front of my shoes. You can kind of see here. See the outsides, there's almost nothing. So my feet weren't landing there hardly at all. And then on the outside of the heels on both of them, I was really having a lot of wear. Sorry, the microphone fell in again. So I was having a lot of wear on my shoes. So I knew from the examples of what I saw online and then looking at my own current shoes that I was an overpronator, right? I've got a problem with the way that my feet are landing and pushing off and all sorts of stuff. So I knew that there was probably a decent chance that that was contributing to my pain. Well, so me and my brother started looking at shoes around the same time. He got his about a week before I did, and I said, let's just see how yours help, because he was also experiencing the same types of pain. So he reported back a week later, says, my feet feel great. I'm still skeptical, and he's actually still skeptical, but I went ahead and went for it. And I went to my local shoe running store, and they put me on a treadmill and did a video in slow motion. And basically what they told me is that looking at my feet as I was running on this treadmill, that they said I was a pounder, which I think meant that my heels come down very, very hard on the ground. And also my right foot specifically has some sort of a weird angle or something to it that is causing a lot of that pain. And in fact, check this out. This is a slow-mo video of just I was out walking today. But you can see I have a natural tendency for my right foot to sort of flare out to the right side. Left foot is straight, right foot tends to flare. So that's basically also what I saw on this video they showed me, which was actually from a slightly different angle and more professionally done. So I ended up trying on a couple pairs of shoes and ended up with these New Balance version 11 of, I think they're an 860. I can't remember. I'll put the link in the description below. I tried on a couple of shoes. I decided on these because as soon as I put them on, I felt like they were propelling me forward in some weird way. The guy that was at the shoe store, he's a running coach. He said that has something to do with something called responsiveness. I have no idea what that means. All I know is that these felt different whenever I put them on. Some of the other ones, I tried some Brooks. I tried, I can't even remember what else I tried. I didn't like the way that they would feel around the ankle. Right here, there was too much and it was too thick. I just really liked the way that these felt. Again, they sort of made me feel like I was almost ready to move with them on. So I went ahead, purchased these, and now I've been running and walking with these almost every day for 3 weeks. And I was skeptical at the beginning. I still want to be skeptical. But the reality of it is that when I've been using these shoes, there has not been one day over the last 21 days, 21 plus days, that I have finished my workout and my heel hurt or my balls of my feet hurt. Not one day has that happened. I'm having a hard time sort of explaining it away, other than at this point, I don't know how it's not the shoes. These were shoes specifically for helping not necessarily correct the overpronation, but assist your feet with their natural sort of movement if you're you have overpronation. Again, I walked into it thinking this is probably just some sort of a gimmick to sell more shoes. And here I am 3 weeks later, 0 foot pain. So look, to my original research was I typed into Google, do running shoes matter? Do running shoes make a difference? And I have to say, for the sake of why I originally started looking, was I wanted to run more, but I couldn't because my feet were just hurting so much. It absolutely 100% had an impact on that. Again, I was so skeptical, I probably waited longer than I should have because I just couldn't come to terms with the fact that something like this could actually help, right? And it did. These shoes were about $130, which is also part of the thing there. I'm a cheapskate. Excuse me. The other shoes I showed you were some Reeboks. They were like $25, and I love them. Like, they've been great. So I have a hard time spending up on certain things. But, one of the things that I had told my wife after I had been wearing these for a few weeks, I said, I wish I would have got them when I started getting into running early in the year, because I could have saved myself a lot of pain. Because it turns out, do running shoes matter? Yeah, they absolutely do. So what I would recommend is, if you're experiencing these types of things, feet pain, especially the bottom of the feet, you get done with your run or your walk, especially on longer distances, find yourself a local shoe store where they can do some sort of a test, whether they put you on a treadmill and record you and play it back, or they do some sort of other fancy testing, I don't know. Go and just try it out. This particular place had a 30-day guarantee. So basically, if I wanted to and it didn't work out, I could go back within 30 days and swap them out for a different pair of shoes if these weren't doing what I wanted them to do. In fact, my brother did that. He spent about a week in his. He was having a pain in one part of his shoe, took it back, and now he's so much happier. So, if you're wanting to run and you're wanting to run more and you just can't because your feet hurt, yeah, I think running shoes absolutely make a difference. Just my opinion, my 2 cents, take it for what you will. I'd be curious to hear, though, if you are thinking about getting shoes, or if you've gotten some and you also found that they helped you out, or even the opposite. It's all hype. I get it. I'm not here to judge. This was just sort of my experience. And again, I've gone from running a few times a week. I've ran every day now, or walked for multiple miles every day for, I think, 21 or 22 days now since getting these shoes. And I'll be able to go tomorrow, and I won't have to think twice about it. So that's my experience with these shoes. Again, I'll put the link to these specific ones, these New Balance, in the description below. Thanks again for watching. As usual, get out there and get some running in before it gets too cold, and see you on the next video.